So for the first card, this is Libra Sun, Libra Moon, and Libra Risings. We have the Sun. And it's in the reverse position, so this is definitely indicating that you guys are going through some sort of delay in regards to achieving something that you would like. For some of you, this could indicate that there could be some issues going on within the home life. Some of you might want to change residence, and maybe you might be going through some delays. For some of you, this could be related to a relationship that could potentially be at a crossroads. And this relationship could be one that is platonic or romantic. But the biggest thing here is delay. So we're experiencing a delay when it comes to achieving or attaining something that we want, or, achieving a goal. Now, I just don't want you guys to lose your optimism, because when the Sun's in reverse, this is kind of where we've, in the upright, we can say optimistic. In the reverse, it's like, okay, now we're pessimistic. So yeah, I don't want you guys to get sucked in to the whole pessimism. Delays are super frustrating, but, they're temporary. And they do serve their purpose, even though they are super frustrating. And I know it is easier for me to sit on the other side and say that, but hey, I've been through so many delays in my life that I know what I'm talking about here. So it's very frustrating, but every delay has its purpose. It has its reason. Sometimes the delay is really a blessing in disguise, even though it may not feel that way. But I just want you guys to know, don't allow it to get you depressed and to bring you down even more. This is the time that we need to hang on to that hope. This is the time where we need to, push that negative side to the, push it away completely. This is where you need to be hopeful. This is where you need to really channel that optimism, because this can help. And we really, really need to stay optimistic. Okay, so it is clarified by the Page of Coins. So for some of you, this could be some delay and or disappointing news that you could have received that could be related to your finances, or it could be related to schooling, higher education, or even a child in your life. Which would, if it is a child, it's probably a child that's, let's say, their teen years. But the overall vibe that I'm getting is that for most of you, this is more of a financial nature, where you're dealing with these delays and these frustrations. So perhaps for some of you, maybe you were waiting on some information to come in. Maybe it was regarding a job. Maybe that info's not coming in. Maybe it's regarding a loan. Whatever it may be, there's definitely a financial tone to it. So either the message is delayed, or the message you receive is one that you did not want to hear, and is probably adding to feeling like your hope is dashed. But I'm telling you, every delay has its purpose, has its reason. It's like when one door closes, another always opens. So even though it's a delay, it does not mean that we will be shut out of this opportunity. Whatever this may be for you, it doesn't mean it's permanent, okay? Well, let's continue. Okay, so this would be the circumstances. So we have the Six of Swords in the reverse position. So this is like, there's definitely been a situation with some sort of loss, or maybe even family difficulty. A lot of times this can be around a job or even a, a relationship situation where it's like we're stuck in a negative situation, and it's like we cannot see our way out. It's like we want to get out, but we're just being met with so many frustrating delays and roadblocks. It can feel like it's impossible to get out of the situation, but it is possible. And here's the trick: you must first make peace with where you are in your mind. And the moment that you just make peace with, what you're going through, where you're at right now, the moment you make peace with it and you accept it for what it is the moment that, all these roadblocks will start coming up and being removed. Because when we do it in the mind, it will transfer to the outside world. So, this can be a lot harder, especially if you may be going through some depression. Not every Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising is going to be affected by the depression, but some of you will be affected more than others. So, this can be challenging, but just know that it can be done. And while you may feel that you're stuck in a negative situation, you will find your way out. You absolutely will. But it's going to take time. Okay. So, it's clarified by the Page of Wands in reverse. So again, we're having messages that we're waiting on that are delayed, or the messages that we receive are not what we wanted them to be. These messages could be regarding, could be about work. It could be about a creative endeavor or a hobby, a project of some sort. Because there's definitely some creativity when we see the Page of Wands. So, yeah, there could definitely be some loss around a creative project or a delay. Maybe, for instance, maybe some of you may be dealing with some sort of writer's block or something. Maybe you feel like you cannot find your way out of it. Maybe you feel like you're stuck. That's just one example. That's not going to resonate with all of you, but it will resonate with a few of you. So, but, it's just a general example to show. These are creative type of, endeavors, projects, even a hobby, maybe even a creative type of job position. And here we're feeling like we're stuck in a situation. And maybe the news that didn't come in, or the news that we did get and wasn't the greatest, this is probably feeding in to the whole feeling like you're stuck in that negative situation and you're not getting out. For some of you, this is going to feel more like a creative type of block. A block to your creativity. And for some of you, this could even be about a child or children, seeing as how we've got 2 pages right off the top to clarify. So, it is possible, although I feel like this is geared more towards you guys rather than the children. But, that will resonate with a couple of you. So, this is the focus of the reading. So, here we have the Death card in the reverse position. So this indicates that something is trying to come to a natural ending, so to speak. There's some sort of situation that needs to come to a close, and we're hanging on. It's like we're trying to fight tooth and nail to hang on to something that is no longer serving a purpose for us. And the more that we try to hang on and to fight to keep this situation, it's like the more that the universe is just going to throw at us, and these battles are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we can end up actually exhausting ourselves, mentally, physically, and then even emotionally if we keep ourselves in this situation, because ultimately there is some sort of situation within your life that is trying to come to a natural ending so that you can have a new start. And the more that you hang on to it and you cling to it, then you're pushing your new start farther away from you. And trust me, even though for some of you, this ending that you're trying to prevent from happening, I know that this could be rather painful for you guys, but you really need to do what you have to do to find your closure. Say with, a person that this situation could be revolving around, or a situation. Do what you can to find your closure, but you need to just, we kind of need to let go of it. We need to surrender, because the more that we try to fight against this, we're essentially fighting ourselves, and we don't want to do that, because we're just pushing our new start farther and farther away. Because with every ending comes a new beginning. Like I said earlier, when one door closes, another opens. Okay, so this is clarified by the Nine of Wands, which is rather interesting, because for your present position, which I haven't even gotten to yet, it is the Nine of Wands. Excuse me, the Nine of Wands. I think I said Knight. 9. So, yeah, this definitely has some serious meaning here. So, the Nine of Wands is where we are literally standing strong. We are standing firm. We are prepared to handle any type of adversity or hostility. Typically, this is a card where we're definitely on the defensive. We feel like we need to protect something or someone. Sometimes this can be us protecting, our beliefs, our values, ourself, our loved ones, our children, our friends, whatever it may be. It's like we feel like we need to protect. And if you see, this man's already got some blood on his arm. So that symbolizes that he's already got a wound from being in some sort of battle. It's, not like a real physical battle. It's more that's one that's verbal. But it's like we're standing strong, and it seems like we're trying to hang on to a situation that we ultimately need to let go of. Sometimes this can be, maybe you're trying to prove your point about something or about a certain situation, but maybe it's just not worth it. Maybe it's not worth you wasting your energy on it. Because whatever this is, it's needing to come to that natural ending. And the more that we try to be defensive and hang on to it, like I said, the more that we're just pushing that new start further away from us. And we are feeling stuck in a negative situation. And that's partially due to the fact that we're hanging on to something that is not really meant for us. And sometimes for some of you, this can simply be about, hey, you need to let go. If you're trying to control a situation too much, that could be what this is pointing towards, where you need to try to just let go of those reins. Let go. Let go, let God. Let go, let the universe, whatever works for you, whatever your beliefs are. But the moment that we let go and we relinquish that power, this is when things can turn around. If it's meant, if whatever this situation is, if it's meant for you, then it will happen. will definitely happen in a different type of way, but it will happen if it is meant for you. When things are meant specifically for you, then nothing and no one can take them away. Sometimes we just need to modify certain things. But ultimately, the more that we try to control a situation, sometimes we can push the very thing that we want further away from us. And for some of you, maybe you're just stuck in that negative situation that needs to come to a close. And maybe you're just really defending yourself. Maybe you're trying to get out of that situation, but you still feel like you're stuck. But let me tell you, you are not stuck. You may feel like you are. Heck, for some of you, a few of you, you might even have somebody telling you you're stuck. But I'm telling you, you're not stuck. You can get out of it. Like I said, make peace with it. Let go of it within the mind first. And you're going to see all those roadblocks and barriers come up and free you so that you can move forward. And that way you're not feeling stuck anymore. Okay, so this would be your recent past. So we have the Magician. The Magician is definitely indicating that there was a proper use of your skills, abilities, and powers. For some of you, you could have recently, in your recent past, discovered maybe what some of your hidden abilities or skills could have been. And maybe you have actively been trying to utilize them. So this is very positive. This is also a card of manifestation. So for some of you, this could be pointing towards manifesting a new start. And for some of you, this will be about discovering your hidden abilities, talents, or putting them into motion as far as utilizing them. But most of all, this definitely shows that you're utilizing your skills and your abilities and your power the right way. So that's really good, actually. So, because we don't want to see the wrong use of skills and abilities. Okay, so to the present, I know I jumped forward momentarily. 9 of Wands. So this is definitely resonating with the focus of the entire reading. So here we are definitely taking that defense stance. We're feeling like we're having to defend, something, someone. Maybe you feel like you're having to defend your point of view. Maybe it's your values. Maybe it's your beliefs. Maybe you're just having to defend yourself, your character. Maybe you're defending, a friend or a loved one. And again, the wound on his head here shows he's already been through a battle of sorts. But look at that fierce attitude he has. Like, you're not going to knock me down. Like, I'm strong enough to take anything on. And that is the truth. So, even though there's a situation that we need to let go of, don't allow yourself to get, super down, hopeless, depressed. Don't allow yourself to get there. Because you really are strong enough to handle anything that gets thrown at you right now. He's got that fierce attitude, like, you want to try to come at me? Good luck. Okay, so it's clarified by the Faith card. So this is also known as the Hierophant card. So for some of you, this could be about maybe defending your stance or defending yourself, whatever it may be, standing your ground. Maybe this is regarding a relationship. Again, this relationship can be platonic or romantic. Maybe this is even like a work relationship, work partnership. It's very possible for some of you. But I'm also getting another message here, seeing how we have the Death card with the Nine of Wands clarifying. It's almost like we need to have faith, and we need to let those situations go that are trying to come to their natural conclusion. And we need to have faith that things will get better. We will get to where we need to be. But the Faith card is also about conforming, okay? Which says a lot with the Death card, because with the Death card in reverse, it's like we're fighting and trying to prevent something from coming to an end, even though it's reached that point where it's not providing us anything else that's going to further our own personal growth. So it's a situation that we must let go of. Even though we don't want to, we must let go of it. And I'm telling you, there is great power in letting go. Surrendering that control. It's normal for us to want to control the situations in our life, but sometimes the more that we try to control things, the messier things can get. So this is like we need to let go. And the Faith card is saying, hey, you need to conform. It may not necessarily be what you want to do, but sometimes conforming is good for the good of all of us. Not just for you, but for all of us. For some of you, maybe somebody is wanting you to conform, okay? This is only going to be for some of you. But maybe you have someone in your life that is wanting you to conform. They want you to fall into line. And maybe you are just standing your ground and saying, no, that doesn't work for me. I don't agree with that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. So at the end of the day, you have to make the decisions that are best for you, and only you know that. Every Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign is different. So you have to do what you feel is best, and only you will know what's best for you. For some of you, conforming will be a good thing. Conforming will allow this to come to a close so that we can move towards that new start. Okay, so this is the near future. So we have the Two of Wands in the reverse position. So this definitely indicates, for some of you, you could already be going through this energy. For some of you, it's just starting. You'll know where you fit in this scenario. So this is where we have set something into motion. We have literally set something into motion, and it's like we were waiting on results. But then the results that we get, either there's a delay on receiving those results, or the results that we receive are, not to our liking. But ultimately, the Two of Wands is also pointing towards, that things are out of balance. Something is not right within this plan that we've set into motion. This could be about a job. This could be about, a creative hobby or a project or an endeavor, whatever it is for you. It's like we set it into motion, but there is something about it that needs to be changed. For some of you, this could be about a business partnership. And when we have the Two of Wands in reverse, this shows that the partnership is not equal. So that's going to resonate with just a few of you. But for those who are in a business partnership, you may be feeling like this is a bit one-sided. It's like one person's doing, 95% and the other person's doing 5%. It doesn't really seem very fair. Now, for the rest of you, this can be indicating that we need to go back through whatever this is that we set into motion. Something needs to be tweaked. There's something missing within our plan. So sometimes all it takes is a minor adjustment of something, and then we can be moving forward. And sometimes this can indicate that we just literally need to start over from scratch. Okay. I think you guys had this card last month. Pretty sure you did. So it's clarified by the Emperor. I'm pretty sure this card came out last month. So this is a card where, we're stepping into our own power. It's also one of those cards where it's like we're taking control of the situation. For some of you, maybe you didn't take control. Maybe you started to, but maybe things haven't worked out the way that you wanted. Maybe taking control and stepping into a position of power has been delayed. Excuse me. Now, for some of you, this could be pointing towards an older male. Sometimes this can be, a family member like your father or, say an uncle. Definitely an older man, a man in authority. But, more times than not, I tend to associate this card with, claiming your own power, stepping into your own power, taking control of your life, of your situations, becoming that person of authority, whether it's actually within a job or within your home life, your personal life, whatever it may be. It can be all of the above. Like I said, every Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you guys are all different. You have different situations, and you'll know where this fits you. But this is definitely a card of saying you need to take control, Take control of that situation. Take control of your life. Or maybe you just need to step into your own personal power. Maybe you don't believe in yourself. Maybe you don't have enough confidence. Maybe there have been other people that have tried to tell you that you can't do this, you can't do that. You don't want to listen to those negative naysayers. Those are the type of people that'll just keep you down in life. And we don't need that. So if you've got people that are constantly instilling those negative beliefs and thoughts into you, yeah, maybe that's where this ending is coming in at. Maybe we need to stop listening to that negative talk. This is your life. This is your future. You're the one in control. People can say whatever they want, but it's up to us whether we allow ourselves to believe what they're saying. And I'm personally advising that if somebody is putting those negative things and thoughts into you, into your mind, kick them out. Kick those negative thoughts out of your mind. They don't need to be there. Okay, so for your attitude, we get the Eight of Wands in reverse. So the Eight of Wands, when it's in the reverse, this definitely indicates that, you guys have definitely actively been pursuing a goal of yours. Maybe it's even been a lifelong dream of yours. For some of you, this could be related to a love interest, but with it being in the reverse position like this is definitely indicating that you guys are definitely going through some very frustrating delays, which, there's a lot of delays here. And so I know that's a fact. You guys are going through a lot of delays. But, when the Eight of Wands is in reverse, a lot of times anger can come up. It's like we're so sick and tired of all these delays, and it just can really, make us feel angry. But I'd like to say, if you feel that anger rising up, and even if you are catching this early and you haven't had to deal with that anger rise up yet, the moment that you feel it, listen, you guys need to take a step back, okay? Look at the situation objectively, okay? Use that good reasoning ability and logic that you guys have. Weigh those pros and cons. Take a step back, look at it objectively. Because the moment that we can do that, step back and look at it, with an objective point of view, that's the moment that we will be able to see exactly what it is that we need to fix so that we can get everything moving forward again the right way. But we need to take a step back and look at it objectively. Okay, so this would be the position of how other people see you. So we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse position. So when the Queen of Wands is in reverse, this is where we see the more aggressive side come out. And typically this aggressive side can come out due to, a loss, things not going the way that we wanted them to. It's like things are not working out. This can also be indicating that perhaps maybe we're not listening to our own intuition. But when the Queen of Wands is in reverse, this is where, our aggressive side can come out more. And, we can come across as arrogant. Maybe we might be a little bossy, a little pushy, maybe even a little argumentative right now. The Queen of Wands, when she's in the upright position, she has tremendous confidence. When she's in the reverse position, she's lost that confidence. It's not that she's lost it, it's just she doesn't have a good handle on it because something's not working out for her, and so then this causes her to express the more negative side of her personality. But look, it's, these delays are temporary. Do your best to try to not let it get to you. I mean, I totally get it, and I know these are frustrating, but, delay definitely seems to be the theme of this month for you guys, and that really sucks for a birthday reading. I mean, I'm sorry, but I have to read the cards as they lay, so. But it's about to get better, so hang on. Okay, so this is our hopes and our fears. Sometimes this can give us a little insight into our subconscious. Now, so we have the Justice card. Hello, Libra. So, the Justice card, this is about, hey, we need to make the right decisions for where we are and for our personal situation. We need to make sure that we're making the right decisions for us personally. So ultimately, that is the message from the subconscious mind. We may be dealing with delays that are super, super frustrating. But ultimately, our subconscious wants us to make the decisions that are right for us. And perhaps maybe we might feel like something is good for us, but as it sits at current, it's not been. Something needs to be modified, or something. For some of you, you need to go in a completely different direction. Not all of you, but some of you are going to need to go in a completely different direction. You'll know who you are. Think about that justice card. This is about making the decisions that are right for us. So these situations, are these what you want? Is this what you truly, truly want? Is this what you're passionate about? Is this what makes you feel like, yes, give me life, Don't be afraid to be honest with yourself. I want you to be honest with yourself. Okay, so looky here, looky here. It's about time. So, final outcome card, we have the 9 of Coins. And it's in the upright position. Oh, yes. So, this is financial self-sufficiency, financial independence, financial success. This is also a single woman. So for some of you, yeah, this is definitely indicating you will be single. If you're not, if you've been trying to get out of a bad situation, you're going to be getting out of it. But this is definitely, it tends to be more of a single woman. But, man or woman, excuse me. But ultimately, this is a card of good investments. It's a card of money coming in. It's like we are set. We have what we need financially. We're going to be financially self-sufficient. We are going to be financially independent. So for those of you who have been struggling, say, with employment, relief is coming. You're getting there. And you will be able to start making investments or building your wealth. But this is a card of saying, if you do make any investments, make sure that they are wise investments. For some of you, you might want to invest in a new home. Real estate in general. But this is great for money. Okay, this makes so much sense. Okay. So it's clarified by the Temperance card in reverse. So with the Temperance card in reverse, this shows we are out of balance. And since how we started the reading off with the Sun in reverse, well, this is definitely indicating we're out of balance. So this is our emotions and our intellect being out of balance. We need to take a step back and look at things objectively, Libras. We got to look at it objectively. We need to bring our emotions and our intellect back into balance, because when we make our decisions with our emotions, this is where things can get really, really messy. And we don't want them to be really, really messy. So, now, biggest of all, this is a card of being impatient. And I know that you guys are feeling this impatience because of all these delays, so it totally makes sense to me. But listen, every time I see this card in the reverse, I always try to advise that you slow down. Take the time to slow down and smell the roses. And I'm not talking just metaphorically. I'm saying it literally. It doesn't necessarily have to be roses. Maybe you see a mom and her cute baby just sitting on a park bench, and, take those small little moments to stop and just admire. Maybe you see some beautiful roses. Stop. Look at the roses. Admire their beauty. Admire the fragrance. Because if we can take that moment and stop just to admire the beauty of something, which Libras are very good at, okay? So listen. Take that time to admire the beauty in something. Because if we take that time, we can end up running into an opportunity, and it seems like a very much a financial opportunity that could literally be life-changing here. But if we're constantly speeding around, trying to get everything done, now, this is where we can miss some fabulous opportunities. And so we definitely need to slow down. Now, for some of you, this Temperance card in reverse could definitely be indicating that you might be feeling like your patience and tolerance levels have been tested tremendously over the month of October. And I'd be inclined to agree with you. Typically with the Temperance card, whether it's upright or reverse, we're going to have to deal with other people. Especially work-related. But we need to be able to see everyone's point of view. We need to be patient. We need to be tolerant, because the more that we are patient, the faster we will get to success. So ultimately, this is saying slow down. I know you guys want to get where you're trying to go, but speeding along can actually cause us more difficulties, because then we can overlook important things, or and these can just cause more delays, and you guys don't want any more delays. So trust me, you don't want to speed through it. Just slow down. I know that you guys are probably like, I've had enough of this slowing down and being delayed. I get it, I do. But I just don't want you guys to miss an opportunity that could present itself if you slow down. Okay, so for the bottom of the deck, this totally makes sense. So, Knight of Coins in reverse. So, this is definitely receiving some sort of news on the financial front that's not the greatest. It's disappointing. For some of you, you could have lost your job, and that's what started all this into motion. Okay. Maybe a deal that you had that was financial fell through. Maybe some of you applied for a loan, say for a home. Maybe it fell through. So there's some sort of financial natured thing that falls through. Sometimes this can be about, maybe you're trying to spread yourselves too thin. Maybe your energy could be a bit scattered right now, and this is adding to not being able to focus solely on something. Sometimes this is about, maybe we made a prior commitment and then we're not able to deliver on that. So we do need to be careful of making commitments and promises that we can't deliver. And this is also a very pessimistic card. Some of you could have been feeling pretty moody for this month of October, or coming into October, you might have been feeling pretty moody. And perhaps it's due to a financial situation of some sort. And sometimes withdrawing can come up with this type of energy. So some of you might have been withdrawing, just wanting to be left alone. To have some alone time is okay. I just don't want you guys getting, lost and becoming a hermit. That's not good. Okay, so it's clarified by the Chariot in reverse. So, yeah, this definitely indicates that you guys were going after a goal and were feeling physically, mentally beat down. For some of you, this can even indicate that maybe some of you might have gotten ill. Maybe it was a little flu bug or a cold. Doesn't have to be. And this is not for the future, okay? So this would be more along the lines of last month to, the present, Sometimes this can just be about us being so fatigued because we've burned ourselves out. For some of you, this could be where your car has literally broken down. Sometimes this can be like a flat tire. Sometimes this can be, mechanical issues where a car breaks down. For some of you, and I mean just a few of you, and please don't take this energy on if you haven't gone through it, because like I said, this is something more from last month to the present. For those of you who this resonates with, you'll know. But for a few of you, you could have gotten into a minor car accident and now the car is in need of repairs. So again, please do not take that energy on. This is only going to speak to a few people. I don't want anybody taking this energy on unless they've already been in it. So, but with the Chariot in reverse, this is like saying, we really need to rest. That is what is needed. So to me, it seems like we've pushed ourselves beyond the brink. We've pushed ourselves too far. And, these types of things can happen to make us slow down, to make us take that break that we need and that we're just constantly trying to ignore. So these types of things can happen. So for some of you, this is definitely going to indicate that, the goal that you were going after, whatever it is you were trying to achieve, is just, it didn't work out. And so that definitely makes sense as to why you guys would be feeling super frustrated from all the delays. But ultimately, the Chariot is saying you need to take a break. Because if you take that break and you give yourself some time to find that balance again and to let your stamina build back up, then you can look at the situation a few days later with, a fresh set of eyes, so to speak. Is this something you still want to continue going after? Is this something you're truly passionate about? Is this what you really want? For some of you, you're going to be like, yeah. And for some of you, you're going to be like, yeah, no. I'm just tired of the delays. I want to get things moving. And for a few of you, this is only going to resonate with a few of you. There could have been some sort of issues. They would be financial issues, so it could be related to a job. Or it could be even related to the home life. Or maybe you feel like someone is working against you. Like there is an adversary or an enemy that's like trying to work against you, wanting to see your downfall. Well, don't worry about it, because by the end of October, you guys are going to be fine. Going to be fine. Okay, so since it's Libra season, you guys get the Akashic Tarot cards. So I literally let 5 random cards fly out of my deck, and here we go. So for the first one, it is the Buddha prepares, and this is in the reverse position. So this is very similar to the Death card in reverse, but it's going to be a little bit different in this deck. I still haven't used this sucker enough to memorize it yet, so. The Buddha leaves the state of preparation behind him, easily and happily moving into the crowd. This reversal indicates that a period of waiting and planning has come to an end. The time for action is now. If you feel hesitant and slow to move, don't hold yourself back. Indeed, because of your inner work and preparation, you may find yourself able to influence others without knowing how it happens. So move with certainty and courage. It's no longer time to wait. The world is ready, and you're ready too. That's very true. Just be careful to be patient, okay? Okay, so the next card is the Sands of Time. There's a matter of importance, and time is of the essence. There could be an opportunity that you don't want to miss, and it may be a project or a situation or a personal connection that requires some sort of action or even completion. You might have experienced some delays or may have been highly active or industrious for some time. Either way, you need to keep going. Your focus and effort are still required in order to get to the end game. So don't let worry steer you away from your goal. There is more yet to do, so don't give up. Okay. The Muse. This card shows a time of very heightened resourcefulness and inventiveness for you. Any creative project, new or old, can receive exceptional energy now, both from you and from the universe. Call to the spirit muses and let them join you and the creator within to lift your project to the skies. Will, wisdom, and mind. Boy, you guys got lots of major arcanas. This card brings with it a time of enormous power, balance, and expression. The first 3 rays, or the energies of the divine, move within you equally. Power and will, love and wisdom, and intellect or mind. You are working intimately, even if you are not conscious of it, with the ascended masters who are linked to those energies. With the participation of the masters, you can raise your focus to a higher power and purpose. You can combine the fire of creativity with the water of receptivity in order to make your contribution to the world. With the gold crown raised high, you are likely to find yourself in a significant position of authority and influence at this time. It is likely to be a phase of great activity, but you can handle it. With these powers in play, you are able to discipline yourself to bring together the meditation, creativity, rest, and action required. Take advantage of this time and use these powers well. They are nothing less than the divine forces moving through you so that you can manifest their power in the world. See, that's beautiful. And then the final card is the increscent moon. This waxing moon on the card shows an exciting time of increase, abundance, and growth. Your efforts have combined with external circumstances, and even the stars have aligned. If things have financially been tight for you recently, relax. There is great opportunity for increase and fulfillment in every way, financially, creatively, and even in your reputation and prestige. So just do your work and get ready to receive. See, that is beautiful. So just do your work and get ready to receive. That's beautiful. So see, it's getting better. This is kind of like the eye of the storm, and you're about to come out of it to find that rainbow and the pot of gold. So hang on. Things are about to get a lot better and a lot more beautiful. So again, I'd like to say happy birthday. Keep your heads up. Okay? Stay strong. Things are getting better. I love you guys, and I will talk to you next month. I'm sending you blessings of healing, prosperity, and love.